For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome
Nice.
to episode 110.
Not a milestone.
Not yet, no, I don't think so.
No, there's too many of those recently.
Yeah.
And we've really shown ourselves in poor colours because we took that milestone that we had
And we fucking ran with it.
for 3.5 months. But here we are anyway.
Of That's a Shame.
That's, the full title of the show. That bit's in brackets.
Yeah. I'm Declan.
I'm not. I'm Isaac.
You may remember us from such
109,
episodes as 109.
I wasn't
backwards.
actually there on 107.
Were you
that
not?
was all CGI. It was Google Duplex.
CGI?
Yes.
Not CGA?
No.
Interesting.
Don't worry about it. How are you doing?
I'm all right, actually.
Very dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah, that's it. I've got my...
I've noticed that the Wednesday episodes, you quite frequently come with a dress shirt on now.
Well, it's because I'm at work, you see.
And it's more importantly, it's in deference to the seriousness of the Wednesday ep. Because Sunday, of course, is the fun day. That's when we talk about suicide and topics like that.
You seem to have taken a more sacrilegious
Smart
approach
casual.
then.
Yeah. Smart
it?
casual.
Yeah, t-shirt
Got
and
your
jeans. Did you get
jeans.
away with that smart casual?
Yeah.
Wouldn't get into most fucking nightclubs, you
Wow.
absolute tramp.
That's what he says these days. But we're back nonetheless with a jam-packed episode.
It's got something of a
It's
feature.
packed with jam, is what it is.
Really?
Yeah, from top to bottom.
thank God.
We're going to be talking email. We're going to be talking an old favourite, going back at least as far as episode 8 of the show. Shame City was what I believe the one.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda finally getting around to a much promised, much delayed piece of content
Yes.
sent to us by a listener. And why not get right into it? Unless you've got anything you'd like to say at the head of
No,
the
I've
show.
got nothing.
Any news, anything
Literally,
to share?
absolutely. Sod all
A
squared.
small prayer, perhaps, to get us in the mood.
Does it have to be to the Lord Jesus
It can be
Christ?
to any Lord you
It can be
like.
to anyone.
Or not Lord. That's the option. You could do a prayer to an ant.
Can I pray to Lord with an E?
Yes.
The singer.
Yes, go on. What do you
Okay.
want to say to her?
Dear Lord,
Yeah.
green light's an absolute banger.
Okay.
Bless our show. See you soon.
So you went with the compliment first.
Yeah.
And then
Then the
in-
grovelling.
Yeah, nice.
It's like all prayer.
It's going to be like Bruce Almighty, where she's in a restaurant just getting all these,
Yeah.
or maybe just the one, because it's the first person outside of spelling mistakes
What's
to
this?
pray to her.
God, imagine if I was stranger than fictioning Lord.
That'd be well good, wouldn't it?
Wow.
For you.
Do you think I could get her to send us a lot of money?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
She's notoriously
Stingy.
fiscally prudent, very frugal. Here we go. An email that I read, it feels like years ago, so I'm going to read the whole thing again in full. And that's content. Hi guys, says Jake. The subject was New Citizen. I'm the subject of Noah's long ago Wommibomb, and I've been meaning to reach out for a while. However, after Noah introduced me to the show, I felt that the best use of my time was to listen to the entire backlog of episodes, including the somewhat reviled but mostly ignored episode 3.5. Now that I've caught up on all of that shame, I have just one question for you. On a scale of 1 to true crime podcasts, how much do you hate this article? He links to an article that all I could see was tweets -Lin-Manuel-Miranda. Best Jake.
Now,
So,
can we say,
yeah.
listening to our entire back catalogue, like a lot of listeners kind of did most of it along with us,
Yeah.
or at least a large part of it. To do so in one
Yeah.
is a Herculean task of patience. And I'd be interested to hear how it's affected you socially,
Psychologically.
emotionally,
Spiritually.
yeah, and all round.
Sexually.
Well, definitely. I think some real pros. Do you think people come out of our show more sexually confident,
More sexually liberated.
more
I think.
sexually competent?
Well, without a doubt, for sure.
I mean, episode 68.
What was that?
Your like how to.
Oh yeah, that
I
was
wasn't
very
there,
well
but
received.
I heard
Yeah.
it was very well.
Well,
received.
and that was, of course, our only video episode
Yeah.
so far, and it went down a storm. Removed from YouTube, unfortunately,
No.
for obvious reasons.
But I think it's still up on
Yes,
your
on some of
girlfriend's
the
casting
illegal-
call pro or something.
No, it's up on. I believe it's something about a hamster.
Oh right, yes.
No one's sure.
I can't even imagine listening
Yeah, we
some of our
said
episodes.
last time we read this email that it did seem like a mad thing to do. We were very. It's mad for us to think that like someone in the world, like a real human, which it would be odd of us to assume Jake was anything but a real person, not like a robot that Noah made out of, I guess, a kind of omni-benevolence that he might be experiencing towards machine kind, wanting to just kickstart their little lives.
Maybe he thinks that they've been lagging the last few years
And so
they
he's
needed
just
a
giving
Jake.
it a shunt into reality. But no, I'm saying Jake most likely is a person.
He's not some kind of Boston Dynamics jumping faceless horse creature.
We can all dream.
That's good.
And as we here, you and I, were just living our lives, probably like, I don't know, what do we do? Looking at a pigeon, napping, maybe playing Mario Kart, something like that. Maybe having like a hostile tube experience where everything's a bit cramped. You've had those before.
Plenty.
Somewhere zooming across the world was our voice, our collective voice that we have beamed into the ears of another person from months ago, that we had like words that we said years ago.
A year ago, yeah.
Years, 2011, some of the show. It's very strange.
It's very odd. And like, I think that...
I find it creepy. I've deleted all the old episodes.
Sometimes like I think about that and, you think, oh, what about episode 28? Is it Wheel of Cheese?
Oh, I've no idea.
Or whatever it is. That was a classic. That's a good one. The original Block Switch episodes.
Yeah.
There's some funny stuff when we moved house. But then I think, in amongst all that, there's a lot of shit in there.
And also,
isn't it?
even in the episodes that we consider to be our best ones, they're still 98, 99% nonsense.
Well, all nonsense. But I mean, there was a long period of this show where we did absolutely fuck all.
We're in that
it was
period.
just no. We're
Welcome.
doing a feature. We're doing stuff
true.
from an email.
That's true.
I mean, literally, we came in. I spoke about the car.
Yeah.
You spoke about having to tutor a little Chinese baby, and then we went. We went home.
Interesting. I wasn't tutoring that Chinese baby. I was watching the Lion King animated series on
But
Disney Life.
is that not the ultimate form of education?
That's what I was getting round to, because it's really informed my approach to.
And that's how you've put it on your CV now.
Absolutely,
of course.
yeah. Professional Chinese baby tutor.
Yeah.
People have a lot of questions about which of those refer to me.
Yep.
Am I a baby tutor? A tutor of
Chinese?
babies? Exactly.
Are you a Chinese baby
and
yourself?
I like people not to know.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah, for sure. But here we are, back at 110. That's all in the past, and now Jake
So you
somehow
clicked
has
on
caught
this
up.
little hyperlink.
I gave it a click. I was reticent. I've read this article twice in my life now. But
Do people use the word hyperlink anymore, or do we just say link?
Yeah, we don't, because what other links are there to specify between? Like, who's talking about chains?
Chain
these
links,
days?
yeah, I was
very
going to say.
few people.
From-
Probably people who cosplay.
From Zelda, yeah.
Yeah, fair. But then the capital L would be what gave it away.
Right.
Yeah, so I clicked on the hyperlink, the HTML embed, and it took me to a website called sojo.net, which is, I don't know, do you hang out there?
Don't have any comment on that.
No, it's not one of your big bookmarked sites yet.
No, but
Let's see if
I
we
mean,
can change your
is this like a pitch? For
Pretty
me?
much.
Yeah?
I mean, if this article and more than just the way it's written and the topic, but if this quality of journalism
Right.
is endemic to Sojo, then I can only imagine that it's going to be almost a must read by the end of the week. And maybe as a podcast, our service now is giving them a platform they might not otherwise have had.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I mean, I remember you saying that in that hyperlink,
Yeah.
you'd seen the words tweet,
Yeah.
Lynn and Manuel.
And Miranda, would you believe?
And Miranda.
So 75% his name
Now, I follow Lynn Manuel Miranda
on the Twitter.
on Twitter
Why?
because I need to be kept abreast of all the things that I
he has.
despise in the
Okay,
world.
fair enough.
I need to see a picture of him and his wife with Ian McKellen after King Lear, just so that I can spit at my own phone screen in
Quite slow
pure
smashed, isn't it?
hate.
That's like my instinct to go and read unpopular opinions in our musicals about people who hate Sondheim. Like, I just don't really get it. I think people are just being pretentious. I'm like reading them, just screaming,
steaming.
punching through the diginet. Diginet, I like that word. The canonical tweets of Lin-Manuel Miranda. This is an article by Jessica Kantrovitz.
Now, what are they attempting by the use of the word canonical?
I'm glad you asked, and I guess the best way to answer your question is to tell you a little bit of Jessica's bio. She's a writer and editor living in Boston.
Right.
Her work has been published on Think Christian,
Oh.
The Good Men Project, don't know what that one is, and the Our Bible app.
Oh.
So one of those things not quite like the other.
Yeah.
And sorry, and I should have mentioned, and I will just put out an apology in advance. It has been shared widely throughout social media as well.
You sort of belittled
quantify
her
that. Yeah,
by leaving that out.
With that.
Well, and of course on Sojo.
Yeah,
But
well,
they don't say that, but I suppose it's
goes
self-evident.
without saying, of course. So canonical here is meant in the religious sense, like the canonical gospels.
Yeah.
The canonical.
But again, to what end? Are we like creating the Book of Lynn?
Yeah, essentially so. It's an authoritative religious figure coming down off that big mountain with his teeth out and his tablets of knowledge.
Now, from my understanding of the word canon in this sense, and indeed in the in the literary sense, it's a series of revered, important,
Absolutely,
genre-defining,
without a doubt.
Often,
and I put the B in there just so you know.
Often, sort of paradigm-shifting texts.
And it's weird because you say you follow Lynn on Twitter, and you don't.
I do. Well, I might have missed them. I'm not saying they're not there, but
and sometimes the thing about the Gospels is like if you were just skim reading like 50 different tweets and one of them happened to be the word of Christ, you wouldn't necessarily pick it out at first glance because humble is a quality, humility very much associated with these figures. So you'd probably scroll past and it wouldn't be until maybe years later that you thought, that's some real wisdom and stuff over there.
God.
So the article begins, as all good articles do, with not one but two quotes. And these quotes, they're special because they are both tweets.
Oh.
I'm going to read them with...
Who are they from?
Well, they're from Lynn.
Oh, right, both. Yeah. Okay,
from
good.
Lynn Double M, as we'll refer to him henceforward. I'm going to read them with... Well, I'm going to try. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I can only hope to become anything like him in future. But mortal as I am, I will try to convey some of the gravity, some of the wistful, pensive, thoughtful
He's
quality.
an old soul.
Have you thought that as well?
Yeah,
He's got those eyes, very old, wrinkly eyes.
Yeah.
The pupils, I mean.
From so long just looking at himself in the mirror.
And looking at all the great words that he's wrote.
Well, sometimes it took him 2 years to write just one rubbish song.
That was very average. So, here it goes. The world changes. The ground shifts. We still make plans. We still find gifts. Good morning. Full stop. That's Lin-Manuel Miranda, June 24th, 2016, morning tweet.
Now, this is... you see this a lot on Twitter especially.
Right.
Where
Very
it's,
good tweets
where
like
it's
this.
more of a textual format than an image format.
Yeah.
Not to say there aren't images.
No, there are.
But it's more of a textual format. And this you see a lot from supposedly inspirational accounts, from sometimes from the odd like politician, often, very often from writers. You get it from writers.
Yeah, I know
them. And what it is it's the wanky, self-absorbed. Sorry, just hold off there.
Because it sounded like you were talking about Lynn's, but you're talking about these other ones that you've read.
And Lynn's.
Right, but not in the bad.
Yeah, no, in the very bad, in the condemning sort of to the bin of history, to the word bin.
That's weird because
sort of sense. But it's the self-identified poet's version of the models. Woke up like this, no makeup, morning selfie. It's like, I just woke up and I just wrote this little quatrain and I just thought I'd just pop it out there into the Twittersphere just so that you guys could share it. And, just hoping that you too, even though the ground's fucking all over the place underneath you, that you might find some gifts.
The world changes. The earth spins. The earth spins this time. We grieve. Sorry, let me try that again.
Oh, yeah.
The world changes, the earth spins. We grieve our losses. We eke out wins. Good night. Lin-Manuel Miranda, June 24th, evening tweet. So he bookends the day. That's something to think about. And that's before the article's even begun. Because this article isn't just a list of tweets. This is not BuzzFeed circa
Is it not?
2015.
2018.
No, they've moved on now. They break some quality journalist stories.
Well, they
these days.
still do.
Yeah, they also
that
do a lot of
bullshit,
listicle shit. This is not Cracked circa 1988. So let's proceed. What I like in articles, and I teach an adult to write at weekends. That sounds stupider than it is. He can already write well, but I talk to him about like different ways people write. He's not a native English speaker, but his English is better than everyone else's.
Yeah.
In the way that only non-native
foreign,
English speakers end up being. And one of the things I was telling him about, he wants to write like articles. We normally talk about how an introduction is a very functional, often perfunctory thing in most non-fiction writing that just is like a format, a formal device to just get into the text, the body as much as possible. Introductions are usually dull and serve a single function. Yeah. In most journalism.
Sadly, and I fear this might be where you're leading on to, is that what a lot of good writers. I don't want to throw around the term
geniuses.
Hacks.
Oh.
No.
No, don't throw it around because...
Okay. What a lot of hacks do is decide, traditionally, the introduction, as you say, perfunctory, functional, not artistic.
Yes.
What I'm going to do, flip the tables. Mine's going to be florid. It's going to be superfluous.
Yeah.
It's going to have a lot of
meandering
sentences, a lot of commas.
Broadly unrelated to the article's thesis.
Almost like a distinct object, a different article. Yeah. And often, I don't want to say that it's a lot of self-absorbed, faux philosophical drivel.
But you just have that.
I have, yeah.
So it's kind of too late to take that back. It's, I guess, closer to that approach for sure. Because rather than going for like an eye-catching, this is what the article's about, read it thing, they go for this like, I want to self-select my readership by sending them at least one long paragraph of unrelated, like you say, florid, quite dense prose. And then if they've bothered to carry on reading, then we can get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then later on, in the same way that, we talked about in musical theatre, you can play a fun game in bad shows of like, oh, what song that doesn't quite work in Act 1 was just put there so that in Act 2 they can change one word, and you'd be like, fuck, this whole thing's very well thought out.
Yeah, no, that is... I think, actually, if people want some good tips on writing a solid introduction, they should see our old episode where we talked about Rod Little's article.
Very good, yeah.
Straight to the point. There was no meandering,
and I didn't know
was
how
racist.
Not to draw racist cartoons.
He was like, horrid racist, but he knew what he was doing.
He cuts to the core.
Yeah.
Jessica, not quite so much. In 1978, Walter, and I'm going to say Van Garen Jr., wrote The Book of the Dun Cow. One of your faves?
Right on the shelf.
Yeah. A story about dark times during which a great evil arose, which I think is almost too specific.
That's a new angle for literature.
He chose, did Walter, to portray his protagonists as animals, centred around a co-op of hens. I know, it must be a coop. Because it goes over two lines.
A co-op of hens.
I thought it was like a communist utopia. Which would have been a more interesting book. And also like...
bunch of hens running a factory together somewhere in South America.
Just a tip to Sojo, don't just cut a word in the middle of the line.
Especially if it's a word that can be very misleading.
Centred around a coop of hens and their rooster, Chanticleer. Chanticleer was given a sort of priestly role over the animals, just as roosters usually are. And part of his job as priest was to crow the, quote, canonical crows based on the ancient church tradition of the canonical prayers. Prayers prayed in certain ways at certain hours every day. The crows gave structure and encouragement to his creatures, and, though even Chanticleer did not realise it, prepared them for the coming struggle against evil. Then there's a very long quote from the book that, I'll be honest, is too dull to share.
Okay.
After which we skip. So that's the intro, like. You're at this point. Just take me through your experience as a reader. You must be not confused, but piqued.
No, I am.
Your interest must be piqued.
No, I'm just
in
confused
a big way.
and
Curious.
a bit bored.
Desperate to know more.
Desperate to log off.
Floundering in the way that we do when we enter into a world of literature without any clear anchor, without a protagonist upon whom to latch.
I've opened up YouTube. I'm tapping away.
Back in early 2016, when Barack Obama, and she spelt that wrong, was still president, and the original cast of Hamilton. So here we've tied it back.
Sorry.
That's
yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. God, I
Performed
forgot.
every week on Broadway, which is a strange way of saying they did probably eight shows a week. Yeah. The show's creator and star, Lin-Manuel, Lin double M, was tweeting occasional, quote, good morning and good night notes to his followers. Just in case it's not been obvious so far, these are single words. Good morning. No apostrophe. Just G morning, G night.
Like a good writer might.
Very good. Yeah, very, very good. Sometimes they were GIFs or videos. Sometimes pictures of his dog. Sometimes they were relevant to his life or the show. And sometimes they were just whatever was on Lin's mind.
Even if it happened to be a quatrain.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? As the year progressed and times began to feel stranger and bleaker in America, you'll remember why, of course, Miranda's tweets began to follow more of a structure. There'd be a morning tweet, then an evening tweet along the same lines. Now, this bit's clever, and just if you have any questions, then ask because I'll explain it. A reprise, or reprise, to use the terminology of Miranda's milieu, musical theatre. So you on board with that? It's quite
sorry,
a complex
I'm a bit lost. I don't know what that is.
What it is?
Yeah, what's a milieu? Who's Lin-Manuel?
He's the Hamilton writer.
Oh yeah, God.
So
yeah.
he wrote the Hamilton in the Heights. He was in a very good production of Sometimes Merrily We Roll Along, where some have said he sounded like Kermit, and some have said that's unfair.
Now, in the Heights, that's not a massive rip-off of.
No, it's
anything
not.
else, is it?
It's almost a reverse rip-off of Hamilton, which is a worse version.
Oh.
A reprise, though, what they're getting at is that if you're a lazy writer, or you're a writer who wants to imply structure where none really exists and bring like a sense of unity to your work, then what you do is, and this is a little tip, you just lift material that you've already roted, if you would, and you pull it up like this, and then you smash it across like you're playing a game of Pong, but against no one, because it keeps going until it hits the end. And then you just sort of put your hand into the lucky dip of Act 2 or 3, depending on your act.
Oh, right, yeah.
And just plonk it down where
else.
What happens is the audience who are enjoying what's going on, aren't they? And they've probably just come back from an interval.
They probably loved it. They've got a biscuit or something.
They will be, let me tell you, thrilled to the back teeth to see or hear something in Act 2 that they've already heard in Act 1. It makes them feel safe. It's good, isn't it?
I'm like, that was from... So it's almost like it was all planned.
You're like, yeah, no one mourns the wicked. They just don't.
That's so cool.
Clever. And when she's like, I think everyone deserves the chance to fly, which is what the old wizard boy said earlier.
Oh, is this Hamilton still?
Yeah, it's a really complex one. Good morning. We'll get the hang of this yet. February 26th, morning tweet. Good night, gang. We'll get the hang of this yet. ... February 26th, evening tweet.
Was that not the same tweet?
Sorry, I don't know if you noticed. So, good morning.
Yeah.
We'll get the hang of this yet. No punctuation.
Okay.
Good night, gang. We'll get the hang of this yet. ... So there's an ellipsis there.
Oh, there was an ellipse because... But would that not have made more sense for the morning one?
No. Less.
Why?
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Another example.
Who am I?
Exactly.
To question.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
To question a god. Good morning. Pain, joy, frustration, euphoria, everything. It all passes. It all keeps moving. Wherever you are is temporary. Let's go! Exclamation mark.
What?
That's October 20th morning tweet.
What does he mean by that? Like, what's the? I know that the thrust is to try and be like emotional but grounded, inspirational but realistic.
Yeah.
But like, what is the message of that tweet?
Well, I think you've got it already.
But what has he gained from that he wouldn't have gained from just tweeting, "Let's go" straight away?
Well, it's poetry, so you can't.
Oh, is it
you can't have a
poetry?
go at it because it's.
Oh, it was
Poetry is protected speech.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, sorry. Thinking back, because he just did a list of different emotions.
He did, 4, and then he got bored of them and said everything.
Oh, everything. Oh, okay.
Probably including the other.
It was probably
4.
because just a character limit thing. I mean, this is Twitter.
True, yeah.
Like, he was going to list all of the feelings.
That there were, but then he realised, fuck.
I've only
Technology
listed pain,
foils my
joy,
genius
euphoria, something else.
Good night. Rage, bliss, fatigue, rapture.
That's not
everything.
Rapture.
It all passes. It all keeps moving. Wherever you are, it's fleeting.
Pretty sure the rapture is a definitive end, is it not?
Andiamo, he ends with.
Oh.
Bit of Italian there, just to finish us out.
Oh, that's nice.
So what's changed there? He's gone from wherever you are is temporary to wherever you are is fleeting. Talk to me about that. You've got a degree in English. So you must know the answer.
The distinction.
That's how it works, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, temporary means that it's only a transient moment. It's here and then it's gone.
Okay.
And fleeting
Right.
is, it's like it's here and then it's gone. It's like a transient moment.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So in a way, they are, you could say, polar opposites.
Well, in that way that, it's another of these horseshoes that just comes back round and they're
so
functionally
different. Exactly.
and
synonymous.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe Miranda is playing with our idea of sameness and otherness.
It's interesting that things are all temporary and fleeting, and yet all of his tweets remain the same.
Very, very nice. Then there's a little advert for if you want to preach in your city, then I can sign up here
and
good. Get a lectionary guide. So I won't click. But although actually I do feel like I do want to preach in our city.
Get yourself right up on a soapbox and scream your bloody lungs
Hang
off.
out with the London Christian Standard gang of one.
And provincial.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and provincial. Miranda excels at many things. A statement we can all get on board with. Writing, composing songs.
Fucking me off.
Composing songs is a funny way of describing it. Performing. So that's 3 of them.
Does he excel at performing?
In a way.
What? Give me, refresh my memory.
Well, you've seen the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And you know the green boy, the green frog boy.
Yeah, the one who dies, the Tiny Tim one.
No, Kermit.
Kermit
the Frogman.
Bob Cratchit Kermit.
Yeah. He's good, isn't he? He's a good part of the film.
He's great.
He's actually, some have considered the leader of the Muppets.
Yeah, he basically sort of heads up the gang.
De facto.
Since Henson died.
Muppet King.
Yeah.
Well, what Lynn did was he studied, probably under Kermit, I think, quite literally as well, because of the way that Muppets work. They're very much above the
And
corpse.
as King Muppet.
Then he's the highest of all in the kind of Muppet pyramid feudal scheme. What Lynn did, he looked at what made Kermit great, and he looked at reality, and he thought about where those two things could intermesh, because he can't be a frog. He's versatile. I will not...
He can't be made of felt?
No, not easily, sure.
No.
So what he did was he thought, what's Kermit really known for? And he probably went onto the internet and
having a
Googled
big red mouth.
that. Yes, sure, but...
Being Puerto Rican?
Try this on for size. He's most known for songs like Rainbow Connection, la 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 la, and there's that one about halfway up the stairs is a place where I sit.
After all, there's only one more sleep till Christmas.
Exactly. And so Lynn, I can only imagine it did that thing where the camera zooms in and pulls back.
Oh,
cool
the classic
focus
Jaws.
effect, as he had this realization, a mind explosion, if you will.
Sing like you've got a frog in the throat.
Sing like your mouth is 80% adenoids. Wow. Ed Miliband style.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? And that's kind of the nature.
And has he run that through? I mean, because that's probably a skill he could take cross genre. I mean, has he tried like freestyle rap perchance?
So glad
he
asked.
has.
He actually did a very, very accomplished freestyle rap.
Yeah.
Totally unrehearsed in the way that talk shows always are.
Well, exactly.
They're very off the cuff, very kind of informal. I guess unpolished, raw experiences where you get to know the artist.
Yeah.
And Lynn, he comes along. There's this digimwheel of fortune, I suppose, but potentially of malice.
But it's not
depending on what you
rigged.
get.
It's just...
No, it's not rigged.
It wasn't it's actually spinning.
If it were rigged, he would have been very good at them. Which is not to say that he wasn't.
Oh, I
because
see,
he was
sorry.
really good at all of the rapping of the words that came up randomly. It's just that, well...
Did he? How was his fitting of them into a flow?
Yeah.
Any kind of like coherent story?
Yeah.
Throughout, like a sort of narrative?
Sure,
Yeah?
you could say that. You could say that. And what was good as well is that he was in the presence of the Roots.
Oh, yeah.
And none of them can freestyle to save their lives. So it wasn't embarrassing for him
And was that...
and everyone watching to know that, like, Black Thought, who I imagine he can't freestyle in the slightest. Probably
if he
can't
tried to
even
do
rap.
a 20-minute straight
It wouldn't work.
improvised freestyle rap,
Not without asking Lynn.
he'd probably just embarrass himself.
Yeah.
And that must have been something of like, there must have been some racial tension going on there. I mean, Lin-Manuel coming in and just doing that in front of the Roots, and they were just like left.
Well, they were blown away. And they said, actually,
I see.
Lynn,
We
the
gift
music of
to
black
you.
culture we gift now upon to you.
Oh, that was nice of them.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Yeah.
a really nice moment. I was
Oh,
surprised
that's
you
good.
haven't seen it.
So he's all right. He's okay to just do more of that if he wants.
It's actually demanded that he does as
Oh,
much
right.
as possible.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
good.
But, so he's talented at all those things, writing, composing songs, performing. But it is his ability to create community and camaraderie that most impresses me.
Well, he certainly has among the show.
Yeah, really much, really big much. Twitter can be a constant stream of righteous indignation, can't it?
Oh,
You
yeah.
felt that.
I've been there.
I've caused it. Most of which is an entirely appropriate reaction to the injustices of our day. Miranda acknowledges injustice, which makes it sound like he just sort of nods at it.
Yeah.
Like from the other side of the room, like, yes, there you are.
Like an old friend across the street.
And famously lashed out against the president for tweeting criticism of Puerto Rico's mayor after the devastating hurricane in September 2017.
I heard he was the only one to do so.
He
well.
led the
I hear
charge.
I hear that the rest of Twitter was embarrassingly
Favour.
silent.
Yeah, well, they're pro-hurricane. They always have been. Liberals, isn't it? But he also creates a place for us on Twitter where we, hoi polloi, can be comforted, encouraged, and empowered for the work before us. His tweets make us feel like we're all in this together, that we are seen and loved unconditionally, that we have someone, and not just anyone, in our corner. Is that how you felt?
Both in the morning and at night.
And at the good night, yeah.
So you don't like go to bed, like it doesn't wear off during the day and then you go to bed feeling alone.
No.
He's there with the exact same tweet as the morning.
Quality of dreams you'll be having after reading some of
Oh,
those.
yeah, no, exactly. About the earth moving.
I love dreaming about the earth.
Bit of injustice in there, maybe some euphoria,
Yeah, well, I love a euphoric dream.
and of course everything.
That's
Don't forget everything.
yeah, I've had dreams
The
about
community in that word, because it's pretty blanket. It sort of covers everything.
that. Hard not to have a community when you've, like you say, encompassed the full totality of what's available.
But has been sure to sort of appeal to all the specific.
yeah.
He hasn't. It's not just sort
Well,
of
he's not going to
lazy.
name check everyone. Is
Oh
he?
no,
He
of
hasn't
course
He
not.
hasn't got all day. He's busy probably writing Hamilton too.
Oh yeah. Well, that could, judging by the last one, could take him decades.
Yeah, well, he works hard for us. Good morning. Unclench your fists. Lower your shoulders. Step away. Then come back with a clear head. Redouble your efforts. I believe in you.
Oh, does he believe in me?
November 6th, morning tweet.
Wow.
You know the form. There's going to be a night one.
Do you do that? Do you like wake up with your fists clenched
Yeah,
and
I
your
have
shoulders
furious
hunched?
night dreams.
Yeah.
I call them night angers.
And then you just go out, you drop the fingers.
Yeah.
You let the shoulders just fall out.
Well, you have to. You can't go about life with
And
the
then you
shoulder at the neck.
Flop back into your bedroom with a clear head.
And then I come out clenching even harder, so hard that my nails dig into my own palms,
Right.
redoubling my efforts.
And you're just punching away.
yeah.
And what does that?
That's why I
what
don't
does-
get
what-
many
what do-
hours as a tutor anymore.
What do you do with those redoubled efforts?
It's thanks for asking. I appreciate that you taking the time. It's more what I don't do.
At
this point, it really is.
I suppose it's probably the same for Lynn.
Yeah, absolutely. Good night. Unclench your fists. Lower your shoulders. Step away. And at this point, you're probably thinking, "Oh fuck, he's fucked up and tweeted the same thing again."
I was in bed and I've just got out again.
Come back with a clear head, mañana. Redouble your efforts. I believe in you. So that one's quite similar to the morning one.
I think that Lynn's got some weird sleep condition where he just clenches all of his muscles
He's got,
overnight.
like, restless leg.
He wakes up in the morning and he's entirely hunched over like a man who's just been electrocuted.
Oh, that would explain the vocal performance as well, because the vocal chords. Think of it.
My name is Alexander Hamilton, dear Theodosia.
Actually, that's sung by the other guy, just for accuracy's sake, who has a lovely voice.
Oh, okay.
Leslie Odom Jr., very talented. I've struggled to express what his words mean to me, like we have today, because
She
you'll
certainly
notice
has.
there's
We've
been a
heard
lot
the
of-
article.
Yeah, and for us, though, like, you're hearing these tweets for the first time.
Yeah.
It's emotional. I'm reading them now out loud for the first time, but I've read them 3 times, maybe 4 already. And I'm struggling to put into words. And if you've noticed us kind of at a loss for vocabulary this episode, that's why it is difficult to characterize and categorize something at this level, because it's devastatingly new.
It's ephemeral as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lynn,
on. Yes, you can,
he's
you can
not-
call me Lynn.
you know, he means a lot to this person.
Yeah. Well, you're about to find out how much.
Yeah, but have they yet even really hinted as to why? I mean, there was that thing about community,
Yeah, really good. And, well, no, he called Trump out, which no one else has done so far.
but like, I mean, does that mean anyone with more followers
Is
is
better.
better?
No, because it's how you're using the followers.
Oh,
isn't it?
right.
It's how he's using the platform, and he's using it to say good morning and good night
If
as
I-
a single word phrase.
If I tweet in the morning and then just do the same tweet at night,
no,
maybe-
you're going to want to change.
I'll pop in a sort of foreign word for like dear,
Yeah,
or friend, or
just
something.
a romance language. If you maybe want to use some German, I know you've got some
I could pop
grounding
some
in
of
the
that,
German
yeah.
language.
Good night, Liebchen.
Yeah.
You know, like just pop
That's
that
really
in
good.
there.
Sorry, you said good night though. I think.
Well, I don't want to steal the form.
Well, no, but it's kind of accepted that you're just going to say good night at this point.
Oh, okay. I might just say night.
I don't know if that's going to build a community. Not the kind that you want.
Is it not?
No, because it
What's in the G?
It sounds a bit standoffish, doesn't it? Like night, like you're just a head nod. Whereas what Lynn captures is
Just comes in and
it's
licks
a
you on
head
the
that
face.
just keeps nodding, keeps nodding as it gets closer and closer to your eyes.
Like a big haunted rapping Churchill dog.
It's really lovely. I've struggled, says Jessica, to express what his words mean to me. Is he like a big brother,
No,
a boyfriend?
definitely not.
But that's awkward because he's married.
Oh,
Nice.
You know, and the Lord,
He
he's
hates
not on.
that.
He's not all about that.
A coach? A friend I just don't happen to know
Thought she meant
personally?
like a bus.
A big mega bus? I like a friend I just don't happen to know personally, because that's not a friend.
No, I'm afraid you're
I'm
talking
friends
about a
with this-
stranger.
Friends with that person on the tube.
They do say though a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet.
Yeah, they do say that. I've noticed that as well. A little of all of these? Question mark?
What, you want him to be your brother and your boyfriend?
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Why not? Sign up. And a coach, of course, because then you
great
can
big
travel
bus.
to
Just
meet the
climb
friend.
inside your own brother husband.
Then I remembered Chanticleer. Bang. And suddenly the neurons must be firing for you.
I've forgotten what
You're
Chanticleer
remembering
was.
Paragraph 1. He was a big
Was he
rooster.
part of the chicken co-op?
He was a rooster who used to shout at the other Trotsky hens about, I don't know, Stalingrad
Yeah.
or something like that. Then I remembered Chanticleer and what he was to his brackets mine made up creatures. A steady,
The author.
a steady voice. Someone who speaks the truth of who we are to us every day, twice every day. Consistent, unconditional support and regard. Twitter is not a religious institution, and Miranda does not use religious language, but he speaks the way a priest would, using
Does he?
words almost. I love the word almost. We've not really talked about this on the show before, but at
People-
uni, especially, anyone who doesn't have a point to make will say that something is
Almost.
it's almost ephemeral. It's almost comedic. What they mean is,
It's
I don't
not.
know what this is.
Yeah. What it means is, I think it is, but I don't want
won't
anyone to.
defend the point.
I don't want anyone to question me or shout. I didn't know. I didn't say it was.
No, it's
just
just
like
that
it's
it's
almost.
almost- it's
there's like a hint.
grasping for.
There's like an implication.
It's
in
probing
there.
towards, in this case, using words almost liturgical in their cadence.
Oh, a bit of we chatted
Yeah.
a bit about cadence.
There's
in there.
nothing like if saying almost is hedging your bets, then saying that the way that they're almost liturgical is in their cadence rather than in the words.
Yeah.
It's like you've hedged your bets so far. You actually didn't even put one on in the first place.
What's this liturgical cadence? What is the ups and downs?
Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. God. Liturgical in the Cairns, giving a high priestly blessing every morning and every evening. I don't think it's a
Didn't
coincidence.
feel like it was a blessing there. It seemed to
Did
be
it not?
some pretty anatomical instructions.
Go on.
And then a lot of demands.
But you can bless the fists, can't you? That's
But he didn't.
well known.
He said get rid of them.
Yeah, no, you're saying unclench the fist and allow probably like the blessing to come from that. I mean, I don't know. I'm but a
You're not
vessel.
reading between the lines there. You're not putting words in his tweet.
I wouldn't dare
Tweets
to.
in his mouth.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Miranda's morning and evening tweets have become more consistent, more profound. You probably noticed that net increase of profundity.
Haven't seen a single one, I'll be honest.
Oh, but okay, that's interesting. Cynical, but interesting.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
And more encouraging as the political situation in America has become more dire. We need someone to keep us from despair, to call us back to ourselves and each other. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Miranda's medium is Twitter. There is a
What do
prophetic...
you mean his medium is Twitter?
Well, it's where
It's
he's
like
good
it's
morning.
his primary.
Yeah, he invented Twitter.
I write musicals on the side, but mainly I just tweet.
A Twitter. I'm a big one in the Tweedosphere. There is a prophetic energy there that
There's
I don't find
there's
on
nothing
other sites.
prophetic.
What
It's
does that mean?
it's literally his tweets, and especially the ones that this absolute div has quoted today.
Oh,
like,
slow down.
could be
That's not the
found.
view of That's a Shame podcast.
Could be found on any wall, like just plastered on that. Those plastic faux
Like
inspirational quotes.
Home sweet home.
Yeah,
God bless this mess.
yeah, all prosecco o'clock. Like it's just exactly
That's
the
very
same.
funny, though,
They're in exactly the same style.
Tell
It's
me
just
though, do you
vague.
get a different one at morning and night? No, didn't.
Well,
think
you
so.
can.
You're saying we get one in glow in the dark paint. That's or UV light.
I'm saying we could get like another of those big Wheel of Fortune things, like he did in that
okay.
Rap of Fortune.
Very good rap. Yeah.
And just spin it, and it will say, prosecco in this house is God.
Oh, mixing it up, you say. I think, let me start this sentence again because you really need to,
Sorry, I was eager to interrupt.
you need
but
to
go on.
capture the totality of its power.
Yeah.
There is a prophetic energy there that I don't find on other sites. Courageous prophets who are willing to speak truth to power.
Oh, like Mike
old-
Katz of the Labour Party.
Tell people what you mean by that. 'cause
Mike
that
Katz
makes
of
no
the
sense.
Labour Party is an absolute fucking freak
Oh!
who is running for the Hendency, is it?
Yeah, well, it's our constituency.
Yeah. And
He came knocking on the door 3 times in one day.
Yeah.
Seemed very nice.
so looking for
if desperate.
looking for my girlfriend because she's a member.
Yeah. I'm a member as well.
Yeah.
And he didn't seem at all
No, they
interested
don't want
in me.
you.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. And not just to harass her on a day when she was feeling a bit shit, but also to just stand in the door and vomit platitudes in her general direction. And
Come on, he said.
I was sat in our living room just listening to this conversation because my girlfriend is extraordinarily left-wing and really, really hates people in the Labour Party who are on the Labour right, such as Mr. Katz. But she's not hugely confident in...
She's not a confrontational person.
No, she's not.
She's not gonna
she
just
doesn't
tell him
like
to fuck
to do that, and she doesn't like to cause a fuss.
Also,
in that way.
just one point as well of note is that he is a man who's running for a council seat, am I right?
Yeah.
So he's not like an MP. He's not
no.
He's not like anyone that's going to, do much.
But he stood in the doorway for a good 10 minutes, probably
longer,
15 minutes, talking in this way in which it couldn't have been more political cliche. It was just the blandest, broadest platitudes.
Look, we were all in this together at the end of the day,
yeah.
and it's a game of two halves, so we need to take a good hard look.
I'm a broad church Labour politician. I am someone who speaks to both sides. I welcome everyone into my home, and I, as he said, I speak truth to power. Just
a councillor.
threw that off.
Like, no disrespect. If you're going to run for council, good on you. Like, someone has to do it.
Yeah.
But it's
you're-
a fairly limited scope.
There is no position in which you are speaking truth to power.
To the Hendon power. Oh God, that local council power really grinds my
Real
gears.
horror.
So there's prophetic energy in Twitter, like that's a given. Courageous prophets on there who are speaking truth to power in the day.
But he's not, like, is the thing. He doesn't speak truth to power at all. Having a go at Donald Trump on Twitter does not count as speaking truth to power.
He did tell him he was going to go to hell, though. So that's pretty big.
I thought he didn't use religious language.
No, that was in the tweet that was referenced here. It was, you're going to hell. There won't be a long line. There'll be someone saying, right this way, sir.
Right, okay.
So that's a lot of truth to power.
I see, yeah.
Like, it's not like he's just like, you're a bit bad.
But it's not
pulling any
speaking truth
punches.
to power, is it? Because it was literally a metaphor. So it's not truth.
So, or is it the truest of all?
No, it's not.
Or it's almost as if.
It's like, it was almost truth.
Yeah.
Like everyone has had a go at Donald Trump on Twitter. Like if that's all it takes, I'm popping speaks truth to power in my bio on my CV.
RT's not endorsements.
But beyond this, like he doesn't.
You're saying you're not feeling the prophetic.
Well, no,
energy.
but he doesn't speak truth to anyone. He just spits out this kind of vague, broad, largely inoffensive, unless
middle of the road,
unless it offends your sensibilities about writing tweets, because what he has is not a community. It's just a gathering of people who are willing and ready to just suck up anything that might be vaguely positive.
like all of skin cells.
If you invited people who like Lynn into a room, you could pick any of these tweets and they'll all love them. But if you asked any of them an actual question about a view, they're not all going to agree. Yes. So he doesn't put anything out there. Doesn't like reveal anything that isn't.
You're saying he's Taylor Swifting.
I'm saying it's
as
more
of like 2 days ago she finally came off the fence.
I'm saying it's more like what we said about Jonathan Friedland,
right,
where something like Trump's existence.
Journalist for The Guardian who called famous Jewish scholar who wrote a book criticising the weaponization of Holocaust rhetoric by the right. He said, mate, you're closer to the Nazis than to someone who was in the concentration camps. Also, both of Norm's parents and most of his family were killed in the old concentration camps. That's who he is. Carry on.
But as we've said on a previous episode, like someone like Trump, who's just a cartoonish evil, allows people like Friedland and people like Lynn to pretend that they speak truth to power, because he's such a like flagrant and obvious and hyperbolic villain.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, exactly. That, to go, God, he's a wrong 'un.
You tell him, Lynn.
It's not a controversial opinion. It's not something that's
going
to...
in a rap.
Yeah, it's not something that's going to get you in trouble. Yeah. It's not something that costs you anything.
Yes.
With anyone who isn't already
capital.
Some kind of fascist.
Total mental horrid idiot.
Yeah, so again, like Lynn is the same. Like he's had a go here. He had a couple of angry tweets, quite rightly, at the kind of final death toll for the
I think it was around the time that, do you remember Trump went over and just thought, I know what will help, let's chuck toilet roll at everyone.
Well, no, it was a year on from that when they released the final figures, and it was like, it turned out that it wasn't just 80 people, it was over 3,500. And you're like, yeah, that's a good thing to be angry about. But you can't just pick the most monstrously evil things and be like, that's wrong. And then also have people saying that you speak truth to power when most of your tweets are like, oh, no wine for this gal tonight.
We need a priest there too. This is on Twitter. To speak truth to those who feel powerless. To remind us that we are not.
So he speaks truth to the powerless.
Yeah.
The real low-hanging fruit. Get out of bed, you lazy cunt.
Hanging at that point. I look for his tweets in the morning and I put off going to bed until he tweets at night.
Look for his tweets in the morning. It's not like an egg hunt. You know where they're going to be.
It's evening now and I've had a hard day and struggled with my work and I'm waiting for today's benediction.
It must be like hard work trying to make any of this sound meaningful. It sounds like a drag.
But do you mean for me as the interpreter?
No, her as the writer.
Oh, I see. Well,
so no wonder she's had a tiring day.
Yeah, fair. I'm waiting to be told what I already know will be told because it is
Because it was the tweet in the morning.
with one word change. Because it is part of the liturgy and because it will be a reprise of the morning's tweet.
Part of the almost liturgy.
Yeah, almost.
The
The
almost
cadence, the
cadence,
rhythm of a priest. Still, I'm eager to read the words. Now I'm going to read you this quote, which is from the Walter whatever book about a dun cow.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think you're going to find it deeply resonant. And I'm not going to explain why, but it will become clear. But the 7th was the kindest crow of all. This was as quiet as nightfall. This crow was the night at peace upon her nest. This was settle and rest, and you are safe, and amen. And go now to sleep, for done, when it is well done, is a very good word. That's by Walter, can't say his surname, Jr.
That sounds like a cross between something that you'd say in one of those like just a minute games where you've got to
You just have to keep going.
pad out the minute. Amen and good night. And
How
it's
you
done,
doing?
but it's also, if it's done, it's a really
3
not
minutes
just
in the
done.
oven.
Yeah. Or a cross, like something that you say sort of like, if you've just said good night to like one of the kids or like your girlfriend, and you got to sneak out the room and you're like, night.
Stay safe.
And you don't want to, because that sudden silence, if you stop talking, it can sometimes be as jarring as a
And then
loud.
do you normally
so
say,
just
go now to sleep?
go now to sleep? Yeah, go now to sleep. It also feels a bit like in the life of Brian when he has to give the sermon, and he's just up there like, don't pass judgment on other people, or else you might get judged yourself. It's just like spitting out absolute bullshit.
Good morning.
Oh, for how many more?
These are the final two.
Okay.
How can I ease your mind in 140 characters? I guess I can't, but I ain't worried about you. Everything but you. You'll be fine. November 2nd, morning tweet. The evening tweet now.
Okay.
And I really want you to pay attention to the differences and the similarities. Good night. There's a difference. How can I ease your burdens in 140 characters? I don't know. But I'll continue to do my best. You do the same. We'll be fine.
Why do like all of these sound also a bit like a passive aggressive post-it note left on a fridge? Like, I'm going to do my best. If you could just,
If you could
make
up
sure
your
that
game,
you're doing that as
maybe
well.
like tidy under the cupboard for once in your fucking life. Anyway,
Good
have
night.
a good day. So there we have it. Thank you, Jake, for sending.
What was the scale upon which we had to answer?
It was from 0 to true crime podcasts, because we're not fans of those traditionally.
No. If Lin-Manuel
Uh-huh.
hosted a true crime podcast,
Uh-huh.
that's where on the scale it would be.
Ah.
That's like, so when you say like 12 out of 10,
Oh wow! So it's gone beyond for you.
it's gone beyond true crime.
So you're not going to be looking too much for the old Lin tweets.
I'm going
the
to delete
Good Morning
my
Cats.
Twitter app.
Fair. Well,
I'm gonna-
No, because it's full of a lot of courageous prophecy. So you're going to want to stay.
I'm going to have to contact, I don't know which government. I might just email Tim Berners-Lee about having Sojo just deleted from the cache, from everything.
Fair.
I'm going to have to personally find this writer
Jessica.
and ask a lot of hard-hitting questions.
Maybe we can get her on the show because look, it was a nicely written article.
No, it wasn't.
I personally take issue with those gestures like we mentioned towards a profound similarity between things that are not similar.
No, not at all.
I think using the word almost and that kind of hedging your bets is a little bit lazy. But on the whole, I think it was a well-structured piece.
Like, well-structured, that's fine, but you can't just hyperbolize a lot of bullshit.
Is the Pope now.
Oh, is he the Pope?
As far as I know.
Benedicting all over the gaff,
can't
morning, noon,
stop.
and night, but not noon.
No.
Just morning
Lazy,
and
isn't
night.
it?
Yeah.
We should start. Maybe there's a gap in the market for
Ganoon.
tweets. Don't say
Ganoon.
Ganoon. Sounds like some sort of like Cthulhu-esque old god.
Yeah.
You have summoned Ganoon, Rager of the Sky. We've got 2 emails, both of them from Supercont, which I had to re-record last week because
Yeah.
I was ambiguous in the vowel.
He wasn't satisfied with the regular profanity. He was popping the super prefix on it.
That's super contributor as well. I don't want us to become a place of in-jokes. Super contributor. Mark Stratfold, OG super cont. I'm going to do both of them back to back. First of all, the joys of block switch. Isaac and Declan, he said. I'm still catching up on podcasts. It's shocking how work, travel, family, and other such activities have interrupted my normal listening pattern. Commiserations. Because Declan hadn't listened for a while until recently. I understand you binged a few.
Yep.
I was very far behind until I was on the plane for so long and used them, as I mentioned before, to fall asleep to because you don't have to listen when you've already heard yourself say these things out loud. Just after listening to your true crime alter egos revisiting Block Switch and the shocking events that happened in the small town, I read this article. He links us now to the Daily Mail. I won't be linking to it out of an ideological opposition to the Mail, but you can find it if you want. The article is called Moment Thieves Hurl Liquid into a Man's Face to Steal His Laptop. And it's a story, I believe. I don't know if it sounds like it's about an acid attack, but you'd think they would not bury the lead if it would call it a liquid. Yeah. So it must have been something bad.
Maybe it was just like a really strong alkaline, which doesn't go so well in the headlines, so they just...
Really strong alkaline. The article goes on to claim, quote, "But Chunky Grill in Block Switch threw me out while my face was burning with acid. And demanded payment from my husband Lee for the water that was saving me. Yes, you read it correctly. Hopefully whoever did this gets caught, and Chunky Grill owes me and Block Switch an explanation. Have you ever," says Mark, "read a better line in a report than Chunky Grill owes me and Block Switch an explanation? It seems you were right to be so frightened in Block Switch. Regards, Mark." Correct.
Block Switch deserves nothing.
It's an evil town. There is an evil that permeates there.
As proven.
Where did I read recently? There was some awful criminal who was from Walsall, which is where Block Switch is. God. There's something in the water there.
It's like Twin Peaks, isn't it?
It's like
just something evil,
there
just
is.
sort of like seeping out of the ether.
Really bad.
Slipping through the dimensions.
We received the email I'm about to read called Now Disgraced Artists, both of us today at about 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh a lot.
The way that you said that made it sound like at 4 o'clock today we were both considered disgraced artists.
Well, I don't know, probably by someone. Following on from your discussion in your latest episode, what if Sondheim was worse than Hitler? Could you still like his music? Well, that was the basic theme I got, says Mark. Yes. Anyway, we had assigned...
I won't be taking questions.
We had a signed Rolf Harris limited edition print hanging in our house. Do you want to just contextualise Rolf Harris briefly?
Rolf Harris was an Australian entertainer.
Yeah,
he was
very popular in the UK.
He was did like novelty art and then also presented Animal Hospital. Yeah. He used to sing.
He had a wobble board. He wrote a song about a boy with 3 legs.
Jake the Peg.
And a boy about a horse and there's a war.
There's a war, yeah.
And there's 2 boys.
2 little boys.
And one of them's dead, I think.
One of them is dying. One of them is sort of dying.
He was an older chap when he came to prominence. He was always like in our lifetime, sort of looked like a sort of
Colonel
triangular
Sanders rip-off.
Colonel Sanders, Fox Santa sort of vibe. And now this is an important and he was a criminal in a big way. We had a signed Rolf Harris limited edition print hanging in our house. However, I was told that it was not acceptable to have a paedophile's art on the wall. It was not allowed to be kept in the house or garage, even if not on display. In fact, I was told I could not even sell it. So I had to give it away to the in-laws, who then sold it. I lost out on orphans.
That's so tragic.
Regards, Mark.
I would be so furious. Oh, that does remind me of something, though.
You've got a child molester's art, have you?
No, much better, much less troubling. I might have a coin that's worth a lot of money for us to flop.
Is it Rolf Harris's face on it?
It's not, but someone who doesn't look too dissimilar.
Okay.
It's the old Charles Dickens. It's a Charles Dickens £2 coin.
Are they rare? I don't follow coins.
It's rare because it's got minting errors on it.
Oh, that's good. Okay, we'll look into it.
Yeah. Okay. So we could make up to, according to one article in The Mirror, so you know it's good,
yeah.
$3,500.
Which you'll say we're going to take all the listeners on a big cruise line maybe will hire out the jewel of the ocean.
I feel like you're potentially overestimating 3,500. I know it's a foreign sum of money to us, but I'm going to buy the moon.
So that's been an episode for sure. We've got, as you just heard, Mark, who isn't in the room with us at the moment, has managed, through the power of the internet, to convey thoughts out of his mouth and brain and fingers into our show. And we've set up a number of avenues by which you can achieve the very same effect. Primary amongst which is TAS at shame.city. Send your emails there, your thoughts, your feedback. I'm still waiting, and not patiently, I'll add, to hear what flashes through your mind when you hear the term self-flagellation.
Yeah.
And I won't be made to wait.
We haven't had even a single response
It's
on that
just
line.
not respectful. You can tweet us your answers if you want. But I know you're listening because I see the downloads.
That's more public as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
You don't
always good to share.
You don't necessarily want your employer knowing what you think when you hear self-flagellation.
I think great Thursday. Killer wins.
Shame.city/contact will
Same
also
effect.
allow you to just dribble into the inbox as you do, or sometimes in my case, don't.
Yeah, sometimes Declan doesn't get
Just a
those.
fun quirk of technology
Yeah.
that seems to define my life. You can, as Isaac alluded to moments ago, contact us on Twitter. The show can be found at That's a Shamecast. Isaac can be found at IsaacBD.
Sure
That
can.
being his name. I can be found at DE Delane.
That being
being
yours.
mine. Well done.
Reviews. There's a link in the show notes. I'm going to get you to click it. And by get you, I mean at gunpoint.
Come
if that's
to
what
your
it takes.
homes.
I'll be peeking out in the window, waiting for you to leave us a 5-star. That's star review.
Well done.
Just in case anyone's like not fully on board with the integers.
No.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? We'd like those.
It'd be nice. They do something for us that we're not quite sure of, but we're told it's very important.
We're very much aware that most people who listen dedicatedly have left them. So if you have, give yourself a pat on the back, a
Perhaps
reach around.
in a slightly less sexual way than Isaac has implied, and a slightly less, I don't know.
What did I do? A weird like
You did a sort of like
self-flagellating.
self-flagellating,
I was-
cat o' nine tails,
I was limp from below the
Silas
shoulder.
sort of.
Yeah, I was just letting the arm go where it will.
Yeah, it was kind of worrying. It was like he'd taken that Lynn tweet about unclenching your fists and letting the shoulders drop and slap yourself right on the back.
Yeah, it's nice.
Start the new day.
It's yoga.
Ganoon.
That would be good. So if you're one of those people, thank you. Well done. We appreciate you on a deep and, dare I say, romantic level.
And if you're not, then consider our feelings the antithesis of
But know that we're very open to turning on a sixpence.
Fickle people
and
we are.
we'll embrace you in any sense that you desire at a moment's notice.
Now, a bit like Scientology, we've got a few various we've got different levels.
Yeah, we
you
do.
can be a different strata of listener. You could just be your bog standard,
Yep.
your average Joe listener.
just popped
You
into the
tune in.
Scientology shop
Yeah, you maybe watch one of their introductory films.
and thought, cool, yeah, why not? I'm not doing anything this weekend.
I'll tell everyone I'm a Scientologist,
yeah, I'll
but
change my Twitter bio to like Tom Cruise is good.
and that's being a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Then on top of that, we've got the people who tweet and email.
The cons.
We've got the cons
And super
and
cons
then on
alike.
top of them, the super cons who do so with any kind of regularity.
Yeah.
And then you've got people who leave reviews. Now they're right up there.
Yeah,
they're
pretty
people who that's nearly. We're getting near the top tier.
Let me hit you with this though. Would you rather one review once or a supercon who keeps coming back? I'm going to have to go supercon.
I want a supercon who keeps coming back, but it feels like the supercon is also about themselves. And it's about a sacrifice. It's about giving something that gives you nothing back.
That makes sense.
Like a final supplication to
That
the
is-
not that we're lords, but
If we were.
exactly.
It's core to most Abrahamic religions. So
And then on top of them,
yeah.
pretty much as good as you can be without being one of us.
Yeah.
Is
Which is only 2 of us so far.
that's the Patreon folk. Now these are people who have given not just their words
And their time.
but their dollar.
Or cents.
Now they do know they're going to get something in return,
They better know.
but they don't know it's going to be very good.
And it won't be.
But they know that we're trying.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to just jump all those tiers,
Uh-huh.
like how Tom Cruise, he just gives like 11 million to
And now
the
he's the
church.
king of science.
And now that's him. He's the alien god.
Yeah.
He's alien Christ.
That's what I've called him.
If you can spare to do so, $1.
A solitary dolloid. I don't think we accept a single dollar.
No, you have to give us 2 at least.
But that's only because the transaction fee that Patreon takes means that if you give us $1, you might as well actually take 25p out of my pocket. Which, you know.
But from then, that's what, 25 cents an episode?
Yes.
Or 50 cents an episode
No,
there, isn't it?
25 for the first one, yeah.
Oh,
because we do
God.
2 a week.
Wow.
It's impeccably generous.
That's actually insane.
I tell you what, most big podcasts start with a $5 tier as their bottom one. And we have eschewed that. We've gone, you know what?
We're a small podcast.
We're a small podcast. We're desperate. We'll take anything we can get.
But not a single dollar.
But yeah, in all seriousness, it does help the show a lot. It means we can afford to do things like keep it going.
Yeah.
Most notably, but also to improve the quality, the consistency of the output.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, we're doing pretty decently on Patreon.
And we're hoping in the next couple of weeks, as we've been saying for the last couple of months,
To
go to Thorpe Park.
Oh, yeah, we are going to be doing that.
So we can use the Patreon dollar to do that.
And we'll report live. We'll probably do some quick fires when we're there.
Yeah, well, it won't be live, probably.
Well, it might be. How about this?
Do a little Periscope vid.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm going to bring Vine back. Famously live.
Yeah.
So that would be very good. Patreon.com/ShameCity. You get bonus episodes. You get sent a gift at different tiers. You get your name in the Hall of Fame. You'll get a lot of love. Shout out to our most recent patron, Jake. He of Cont email previously. You want to become a super Cont, Jake, you're going to have to work harder. Okay? That's all I'll tell you.
And of course, we should specify that we are taking the piss. We love all our listeners equally.
Yeah.
But the ones who give us 25 quid a month, more equally than the others.
It's kind of Animal Farm love.
Of course, as a final gesture,
Yep.
Jake was brought into the Shame City family through a Womibomb.
He was birthed through the canal, the fleshy canal of Womibomb.
He was wrought from flesh and dust into being in the Shame City
really cool.
mould.
It was really good
Right
to watch.
before, it's like in Goblet of Fire. When
Yeah, you can see it on our YouTube
It's just a
channel.
big cauldron and then he's like dripping bones and then
Really
he's
good.
back again, but they forgot the nose.
I know, that was a shame.
It's like close, but you know.
There's a fan theory at the moment, though. It's because Nagini, who has turned out 50,000 years after the books were published to be a person trapped in a snake's body, because he's getting his blood from her or something, or like got bit by it. There's some complication.
Either way, he's an inspirational figure because he doesn't let it get in the way. He goes on, he follows his goals anyway.
Yeah, good on you, Voldy.
And he doesn't take any nonsense about it.
Why would he? Even if
Exactly.
you're living on the back of someone's head, you can be in charge.
So he
That's
was
charisma.
He was Voldemorted into our sphere
Yeah.
through a Womibomb. Word of mouth is best of mouth. Tell fucking everyone.
Shout it from the rooftops.
But do also do a bit of recon and pick people who are likely to listen.
Yeah, look, it's a good thing to bond over giving a recommendation. In fact, I am only friends with people who take seriously my artistic recommendations.
Now, of course, we do concede that we do make it difficult to recommend
With
us.
all the content and quality that we lack.
Yeah, and, you know, some of our subject matter,
It's hard hitting.
our personalities,
Very, very problematic.
the often troubled or poor quality of the show,
Yeah.
the fact that it's always late,
Very late. The fact that sometimes we go 3 months and do 4 very odd episodes.
the art's horrid.
Oh, it sure is.
So, you know,
And the website's slow to load. But other than that,
you know, what we're saying is we're doing our best. And if Noah can find a Jake,
yeah.
then you can also find yourself
Who's the
a
Jake in your life?
and someone to whom none of these things matter,
Yeah.
for whose bar is so devastatingly
Or,
low.
flip side, whose love and capacity for joy is so pure and unfettered by this workaday world.
That you need them to have some hard-hitting journalism thrown at them by us. Let them know.
Chuck them in our direction and we'll do the rest. Until episode 111.
Have we gone over an hour again?
We sure have. We're artists.
We're so generous.
Good night.
Good noon.
Look for the necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you.